Hello, I'm Roberta Lavin, and I'm your professor for this semester. Let's begin by reviewing the syllabus and the course schedule. I will go over this briefly with you. I think it's really important for you to read both of them and read them very carefully. The syllabus starts out with my contact information. When you look on Blackboard, you will find my cell phone number. Please feel free to email me or text me, and I will reply to your emails between 8 and 5, Monday through Friday. I usually reply within 24 hours, and except on holidays and weekends. That said, I usually reply to text messages more quickly than to emails because I obviously see them right away. I check the messenger in Blackboard every day, Monday through Friday, except weekends and holidays. I check it in normal business hours. I try to grade all of your assignments within 1 week. The exception to this is frequently the final paper, and that is because the final paper is long and there are a lot of you. So it takes a little time to carefully review them. You can find the course description and the information on the learning objectives in the syllabus. Obviously, the point of this course is to introduce you to research within nursing and how it applies to clinical practice. All of your learning and course objectives are related to the same, from describing the components of research to how you actually integrate that research into your practice. You will learn throughout the course how to use things like search engines, the World Wide Web to find research, and most specifically, you will learn how to search through CINAHL and PubMed and Web of Science and some other library resources. The essentials of baccalaureate education have some competencies, and the specific ones for this course are scholarship for evidence-based practice and interprofessional communication and collaboration, and then professionalism and professional values. As many of you probably know, these essentials are changing, and there's new ones that have been introduced. So this will probably change in this course in the next year or so. There are some prerequisites for this course, Nursing 301 and 302. There are no co-requisites required. All of your information is on Blackboard, and it is our learning management tool that we use for this course. For online Zoom sessions, the only ones we have for the course are the ones that are related to office hours. I do have office hours every Wednesday, and if you have any questions or need any extra coaching or advice on the course, please join me for office hours. If you're working during those hours, you can schedule an appointment and we can meet at another time. There is one textbook required, The Essentials of Nursing Research, Appraising Evidence for Nursing Practice, the 10th edition. You do need the textbook. You will not be able to do the work without the textbook. And then the assessments and grading. I have put rubrics for all of the assignments on Blackboard for you. I would suggest that you take a look at those rubrics early on. They are what I will use to grade. And here is the graded work that is required. First, you need to acknowledge that you've read the syllabus. There are many ways you can do this. Most people just post it in their first discussion board, but you can send me an email or a text message, whatever works for you. I just need you to acknowledge that you read the syllabus. The next thing you will do is what is referred to as SMART goals. And you can Google SMART goals and learn more about them, or you can see the template in Blackboard I've attached. When you submit your SMART goals, They only count 25 points. It's a minimal amount of points. It's mostly that I want you to think about what you want to learn in this course. The next, and I will give you a little more detail about each one of these as I go along. You need to do city training for human research, Group 2 social and behavioral research investigators, and I have a link to that in Blackboard. Then you will do a research diary. You do 5 entries in the course of the semester. They are 40 points each. Your discussion boards, the first post is always due on Wednesday, and the replies are always due by 11:59 p.m. on Saturday. They are worth 50 points each. You have an integrative review paper, and this is a baby integrative review paper. A full integrative review paper might take you a year to do, and you have 1 semester. So if you look at the ones you will see in the professional literature, I'm not expecting quite that much detail, and I am expecting a limited number of articles that you will be reviewing. You will each have a presentation, and your presentation will be about your paper. One of the things you have to learn to do and do well is to present what is important in a very brief period of time. And I think this is important because you never know when you're going to have the opportunity to talk to someone that has 3 minutes or 5 minutes to hear your proposal. This is practice for professional proposals when you get the opportunities. At the end, you will do a self-evaluation of yourself using your SMART goals. And it's worth 100 points. But when you make the SMART goals at the first of the semester, you're making your own rubric for how this is graded. And you need to be able to tell me whether you succeeded or not. And then finally, there is a draft integrative review paper. So before your paper's due, the week before, I will expect a draft of that paper. Now, let's talk about each one of these in a little more detail. The SMART objectives. By the end of the first week, I want you to post your learning objectives for the course. Now, this has to be what you want to learn and how you're going to measure if you succeeded. So, a SMART objective is not, I want to get an A on all the assignments, or I want to do the work on time. That's not the SMART objective. This has to be about what you want to learn and how you will know you have learned it. I have a post on exactly what a SMART objective is. I've given you a template. You need at least 3 goals. The research diary basically has some guided questions for you to answer in each of the entries, and the guided questions help you to think about the searches you're doing, what you're finding in those searches, changes you are having to make based on what you do or you do not find, and just some general thoughts to yourself so that when you start writing your paper, you know a lot of information. So your research diary will keep track of what search engines you used. Did you use CINAHL or PubMed? How many articles came up? What were the keywords you used? Did you have to change those keywords to actually narrow down or expand the number of hits you were getting? Your draft integrative review paper, it will be due on a Tuesday, which is unusual. There are very few things I have due on Tuesday, but this is one of them. And it is so I will have them before office hours on Wednesday, because if you want feedback, you will get that feedback on Wednesday in office hours. And I have extended my office hours pretty much all day, the Wednesday after these are due. So you can zoom in and we can go over everybody's paper that wants feedback. These are very simply graded. Either you gave me a full and complete draft, you get all the points. If you gave me a partial draft that's missing some of the sections, then you get 40 of the points. A partial draft missing 2 or more sections, 25 points. And if you just give me an outline or no submission at all, then you get none of the points. So it's really easy to get all the points by giving me a full draft. The paper, here's the outline of all the sections. You can read through this. It's also in the rubric. So I would suggest you go through that. There is one and only one topic for the paper. This semester you are going to write on disaster nursing core competencies and related nursing education. Now, each one of you will need to come up with a research question or a clinical question. And when you do that, your papers may look a little different. But they have to basically be on disaster nursing core competencies. And I attached links in here to the International Council of Nursing core competencies in disaster nursing, so you know what I mean, and the essential core competencies for professional education, which is the new essentials for baccalaureate for nursing. And you will see in there in 3.6 that it gives a list of core competencies. So you will have an idea what I mean when I say disaster nursing core competencies. The discussions are related to your unit assignments and will be related to the readings each week and will help guide you toward completion of your paper. The paper is a scaffolded assignment. What this means is you build a little bit each week. By the time you get to the end of the semester, you are going to have, and the time the draft papers do, you will have most of the articles you need. You might need a couple of background articles for the beginning to explain why this is an important issue and why you are doing this paper. But for the most part, the articles I expect to see in the table, you will have done each week and you will have gotten feedback on those. And then, of course, your presentation cannot be more than 5 minutes. And that is to explain your paper, its significance to nursing, and your findings. You're going to load that in a discussion board in Module 8, and everybody in the full class will have access to it, and everybody needs to make one substantive comment about the research presentation of another person. Now, let me talk about substantive comments. When I talk about substantive comments, I do not mean you did a good job. I mean for you to critically assess the other person's work. And when you critically assess the other person's work, I think it is important to give feedback that helps them to do better. With that said, that is the end of the syllabus. The rest of the syllabus is all things that are administrative in nature. So things that you have in every single syllabus, and there's nothing new about them. I hope that this part was helpful to you. Now the next part I wanted to go over was the course schedule, and you will find this schedule in Blackboard right below the syllabus. And when you take a look at it, you will notice that it has the module and the date, and then it has the topics for the week. It has your readings, and then the next thing it has is your assignments for the week. And it tells you the due date. This is always the master for due dates. If for some reason I missed something or something carried over that I did not see, or for whatever reason Blackboard has another date, It does not matter. Ignore it. This is the date. And I try to clean all those up, and invariably every semester I miss one. So please pay attention to these. They tell you when the research diaries are due, when the journals are due, when city training is due, every single thing throughout the whole semester. I would highly recommend that you take these and you put these assignments into your calendar. Whatever calendar type you use, the best thing you can do is put it in there and set reminders so you give yourself plenty of time to do it. Now, one of the things I frequently hear is, I had to work until X time, or I didn't get off till. That is true, and I recognize this has been a crazy, crazy time to be a nurse. But one of the things you need to do, and you're going to have to do as a nurse, is learn to manage your time. And I am going to make sure that there is a couple of weeks of assignments opened at all times. And you have all the dates here. It is okay to work ahead. It's okay to do things early. But you absolutely cannot do things late, because everything in here is cooperative. It means that for people to reply to you, you have to put your first post on time. For people to give you feedback on your sections, you have to do your stuff on time. So late assignments aren't accepted. And you really do need to make sure you get this on your calendar and you do it in a timely fashion. Now, late assignments not being accepted does not mean that I do not understand when, something out of the ordinary or tragic happens. But for the routine work schedule stuff, you need to get this scheduled in advance. And I know it's a lot of work. And it's a lot of work because it is a condensed semester. And when a semester is condensed the way these courses are, you still have to do the same amount of work as if it were not condensed, which essentially means you're doing 2 weeks of work in every week of the class. And I know that is difficult. I am here to help you in any way I can. Please feel free to reach out. Thank you.